my friend here would like to say hi as we record this video here. So I have a few movies here I wanted to show you that I watched. First one I watched here was this movie, Grand Hotel. This is an Academy Award winning movie. It won Best Picture in 1931, 32. It's weird because it's marked as both here. 31/32, which I don't know how that makes sense. I don't know the history of this movie. Yeah, but I watched it. It was okay. I think that it kind of shows. I just don't like older films that much in the sense that. See, I love older movies, but when you watch a movie like this, even though it's technically great for the time, I mean, this won Best Picture. It does have like a feeling of the acting, the performances just come across very dissonant from today. And so while I can say it was really good, but I wouldn't grade this on the scale I grade movies now because of the sense of like it was really not that good if I was comparing it to movies now. But it's still very good. I'd recommend watching it. I do want to watch every single Best Picture winner within my lifetime. I've watched quite a few of them, of course, but that's one of my goals is to watch every single Best Picture winner throughout my lifetime before I die. So, you know, I'm going to do that. Then I watched this movie called Disturbia. I don't know how long I had that Grand Hotel movie, just going back to that real quick. I think I've had that since maybe... Honestly, it might have been since May. Maybe June. July. I don't even know. It's been a long time. I've had that movie for a long time. I haven't watched it. Finally glad I watched that. But yeah. Anyways, going back to this movie, Disturbia. I really like this cover. So it's just kind of this movie where this kid, he's a little bit of a troublemaker. His dad died. And, he starts spying on the neighbor because he ends up having to be stuck at home and notices weird things going on with the neighbor and he thinks he's a killer. It's kind of one of those types of movies, you know, we've kind of seen them before. And I liked the poster of this movie. This poster makes this movie look way better than it is. Like, it makes it look like it's some kind of artsy kind of movie. I don't know. Like, look at that poster. That's great. It's not. It's just kind of like a fine little movie. I didn't really love it or care for it too much. I don't think I'm ever going to rewatch it. I did want to watch it because it looked good. And I'm glad I did. But, because now I know, I guess. But it's like, it's kind of disappointing. Because it was just like, it's not like an artsy movie. It's just kind of a generic type movie. It was fine. Then I watched Booksmart finally. I picked this up at Walmart like a couple months ago because it was in their $5 movie bin, even though it wasn't $5, it was actually $7. But this is a movie that I had heard great things about the year it came out, but I hadn't watched it yet. So when I saw it there for that low of a price, I was like, yeah, let me watch that movie. And I am so thankful I did because I loved it. This movie is probably one of my new favorite comedy movies. I don't think it's my favorite. I honestly couldn't even tell you what my favorite comedy is, but this might be it, honestly. I don't know. But this is a great, great movie. What's really good about this movie is the casting. They have really great chemistry. They're super, super funny together. But basically, these two girls here have amazing chemistry with each other, the two actresses. And what's really smart about this movie is like all the characters in the movie have their little quirks, and they're just like, you remember the characters very, very well. Every scene that they're in, they're really funny. Like just random characters who have like one line in the movie. It's one of those weird, interesting movies. It's fantastic. And, you know, with the characters just being so weird and off the wall, but they're really, really funny. I cracked up and laughed out loud throughout most of the this movie, which I'm not like a huge comedy type person where I'll do that. You know, I like funny movies sometimes, but you know, and I watch a lot of funny movies, but it takes a lot for me to laugh out loud during a movie constantly, and this was that. I mean, it did a great job at that. Um, yeah, it was a great time, and it's just a really fun movie about these two girls. You know, they worked really hard. They worked their butt off to be smart. You know, a to get an A's like in their classes and stuff. But then they're like, yeah, I mean, we worked really hard, and these kind of kids who don't really work that hard are also getting into college, and so you know they try to go to like a party and have fun, enjoy their last night before they graduate high school, which is I like that kind of story. I think it's funny, and it's also kind of relatable because you know a lot of people will do that. They'll work their butt off, especially if some people who go to college they'll know this. You work really hard for other people to who don't really give a shit who to get like you know they get better off than you sometimes and you work really hard and it doesn't really lead to anything, you know. And so I don't know, I think it's a relatable movie. It's funny, it's well acted, it's the dialogue's great, all the characters are memorable. It's just a really funny movie, so really enjoyed that. Then I've watched Tron, which I've seen this movie before, but why I rewatched this is I bought Tron Legacy a long time ago. I haven't watched that movie, I've never seen it, and I wanted to watch Tron again before I watched Tron Legacy. So I bought this. Well, no, I didn't buy this. I've had this for a while. So I watched it, and here's the thing. I like Tron. I don't love Tron because you know when they made this movie, they wanted this movie to be Star Wars because you know if you don't know, like Star Wars in the '70s was a huge hit. It changed the industry. It was a big blockbuster movie, one of the first of its kind. And because of that, studios were trying to imitate that. Disney tried to do it a couple times with like the movie Black Hole and Tron. But this movie was their big attempt at it. Black Hole was kind of a misfire, but they're like, okay, well, we will do this. We got this. We'll make this movie. It's, you know, because what they thought, oh, it's Star Wars. It's good because of the effects, right? That's why people like Star Wars, so they made a movie really innovative with effects. This movie is amazing in terms of effects for its time. Now it looks a little goofy, but I think even though it still looks goofy, it looks great. Like, it kind of has its own life and personality to it. You know, because of its age, it has more of a life and personality to it, I guess, which is awesome, you know. But, like, you know, this movie is, you know, responsible for giving us computer animation, stuff like Toy Story, you know, Pixar, all that type of stuff. So it's a very, very, very important movie in terms of that stuff. What's wrong with this movie, though, is, again, it goes back to what I told you. They wanted this to be Star Wars, and they thought Star Wars was good and people liked it because of the effects. When, no, it was... Part of it was that, yes, the effects were very impressive. Because let's not be kind of like, you know, ridiculous about that type of thing. People do like movies for effects. No one would like Avatar if it wasn't for the effects. I'm sorry, it's just true. You know, so it happens that way. But you know, there also has to be something a little bit more there, and this movie doesn't have that. There isn't any characters in this movie. The one thing I really like about this movie, though, is the way they describe the users as almost as if they're a god. Like, you know, there's kind of religious philosophy aspect to it where they're like, they'll have conversations and they'll go, you know, if I don't believe in the users, then who made me? You know, that type of thing. I like that. I think that's clever. I think that's interesting, but it's not good enough to hold a whole movie. And it's a really boring movie if you're not into like weirder sci-fi type stuff. I find it really entertaining because I'm into that sort of thing, but if you're not gonna like Tron. It's one of those weird dated type movies. It has a certain audience that will love it. That's why it's a cult movie, but it's not a good movie in that sense. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there on Tron.